Okay, picture this for a moment. A child's bedroom, late at night, everything's quiet, just the tick-tock of a clock maybe. The house is asleep. And then this stuffed animal, forgotten maybe on the floor, its little glass eyes pop open and it suddenly knows why it's there.
Yeah, that feeling, that secret life of toys idea, it taps into something really universal, doesn't
Well,
it?
totally. That switch from, just an object to something with purpose, maybe even something heroic.
Right, where the ordinary room becomes this hidden battlefield.
And that's exactly the world we're jumping into today. We're doing a deep dive into Stuffed Fables, this cooperative adventure game.
That's fascinating.
Our mission, really, is to see how this game takes these everyday comforting stuffed toys and turns them into, well, heroes. We'll look at the story, the characters, the unique mechanics that are supposed to make this journey to protect a sleeping kid so memorable.
And the characters really pull you in right away, I think. It's not just generic toys. You've got these distinct personalities.
Like who are we meeting first?
Well, there's Theodora Stuffins. She's the brave bear. Then Lumpy, the elephant. He's anxious, but, super lovable.
Okay.
Flops the bunny, full of energy. And Stitch is great, this wise old doll with mismatched button eyes.
Oh, I like Stitch already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you learn pretty quick that others like Piggle and Lionel are part of this world too, even if they aren't there right at the start.
So the game really kicks off with this big moment, right? The move from the crib to the big girl bed. Why is that the starting point? It feels significant.
Huge. It carries a lot of emotional weight for the child, obviously. But the game makes it clear it's a massive shift for the Stuffies, too.
How so?
Well, that crib represented a kind of magical safety barrier, almost. Moving to the bed means that passive protection is gone. Now, the Stuffies have to step up. Their real service begins.
Ah, so they go from companions to active guardians.
Exactly. And stepping up means facing a real threat. That's where the antagonist comes in, Crepitus, the Nightmare King.
Ooh, Nightmare King. Classic.
Right. And his minions lurking, under the bed. The classic monster spot.
That's tapping into some primal childhood fears there. And you see that fear in the Stuffies.
You do, yeah. Lumpy, even Theodora. They're initially confused, maybe a bit scared. But then you have Stitch, the veteran.
The wise old doll.
Right. And he just lays it out. He says something like, before now we were merely companions, protected by the magic of her crib. But tonight she sleeps in a big girl bed. And so at last our service begins in true.
Wow, that's quite a call to arms for a bunch of stuffed toys. It's duty.
It is. And Stitch even tells this little story, a fable called The Contented Caterpillar, to kind of frame it all.
A fable within the game. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's neat. It's basically about this caterpillar that doesn't want to change, just wants to stay on its leaf, but it gets lonely, realizes it missed out on the world, on even greater happiness by resisting that change.
So the message is embrace the scary new thing, the big girl bed, the nightmares, because that's where the real purpose, the real happiness lies for them.
Pretty much. It's their path to protecting their child, which is their greater happiness. It's really nicely woven in.
Okay, so they accept their new role. Where do they go from the deadroom?
They enter these worlds between worlds. The first one they hit is called the Fall.
The fall doesn't sound very cheerful.
It isn't. The description is intentionally unsettling. Imagine this giant mound of just lost toys stretching up into this murky, dirty, brown sky. And everywhere, more heaps of toys.
Wow.
Plus, things skittering around, these crawlies and these ominous factories in the distance puffing smoke with machines that have these cruel pincer arms.
Yikes. Quite the contrast to a cozy bedroom.
Exactly. It immediately tells you, okay, things are different now. Things are dangerous.
And what do they find in this toy graveyard?
They find the lost. These are other stuffed animals, dolls, kind of battered and worn down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and they're being forced to work for Crepitus in his, factory fortress. They're gathering supplies.
Forced labor for lost toys. That's dark.
It is. And the real gut punch for our heroes is finding the little girl's own blanket among the stuff being loaded onto a train.
Her blanket. Oh, okay, now it's personal.
Right. It's marked as a last-minute addition heading for a place called Squalor. Suddenly, the mission is incredibly urgent.
Squalor. The names aren't subtle, are they? So what happens to these lost toys? Does it get really bleak?
Well, the game manages to balance it. Later on, the Stuffies encounter something called the Tearfall.
This tearfall, let me guess.
Yep. It's a river made of children's tears.
Oh, man. That sounds heartbreaking.
It does, right? But Stitch, again, offers this really thoughtful perspective. He says basically tears aren't all bad. They're not as bad as all that.
How does he figure?
He points out that tears also come from joy, from laughter. And he says there's actually great beauty in sorrow, that facing tough stuff helps them grow stronger and better appreciate happiness.
Huh. That's surprisingly deep for a game about stuffed animals fighting nightmares. Resilience through sadness.
Exactly. It suggests that fear and sadness aren't just enemies to beat, but experiences you can learn from that make you stronger. It's a powerful undercurrent.
It really is. Okay, so they have this mission, this understanding. How do they actually do anything? What are the mechanics? It's cooperative, you said.
Yeah, fully cooperative. 2 to 4 players, each takes a stuffy, and you absolutely have to work together.
Makes sense.
And the core of it all is the dice system. It's pretty clever. You've got different types of dice.
Okay.
Your main ones are the attribute dice. They come in different colors.
Yeah.
Red, green, yellow, blue, purple. These are what you spend to do most actions.
Got it. Colored dice for actions. What else?
Then you have stuffing dice. These are white. Stuffing is basically your health.
Oh, like hit points, but fluffier.
Exactly. And the white dice are how you regain stuffing.
Uh-huh.
Then there are the threat dice, which are black. These build up the danger level and trigger the bad guys, the minions.
Okay, so how does a turn work with all these dice?
Right, so on your turn, you draw 5 dice from a bag. Any white ones you draw, the stuffing dice, you deal with immediately. You roll them, and if you roll high enough compared to your current stuffing, you heal 1 point.
Nice. A little chance to patch yourself up.
Yep. Then, any black dice, the threat dice, they go straight onto this threat track. When that track fills up, bad stuff happens. Minions might attack or move or some other event triggers.
Okay, danger escalating. So what's left?
What's left are your colored attribute dice. And those are what you spend to actually do things on your turn, move, fight, use skills, that kind of stuff.
And each stuffy uses these dice differently. You mentioned they have distinct personalities.
They do, and it translates directly into their abilities, which really encourages teamwork. Theodora, the bear, she's versatile. She can swap dice colors. She's good at motivating the team, re-rolling, getting rid of bad status effects. Kind of the flexible leader. Stitch, the wise doll, he's all about insight. He's great with yellow dice, can outsmart enemies, even automatically pass certain tests or distract minions so they don't act. Very tactical.
The brains of the operation.
Totally. Lumpy the elephant is tough. He can re-roll blue dice, take hits for other stuffies, he can protect them, and even hit back when defending. He's your tank.
Your fluffy blue tank.
Gotcha. And then there's Piggle. He's lucky. Great with purple dice, can change outcomes, gets rid of the worried status, can even give 2 lucky dice to friends. He's the support, the wild card.
So you really need that mix of abilities.
Absolutely. You need to combine those strengths,
Right.
which leads into the key actions you take. Movement, for example. You spend dice to move, obviously.
Right.
But the cool part is the map has these colored lines on it.
Right.
To cross a solid colored line, you have to spend a die that matching color.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about distance, but the path you take and the dice you have adds a puzzle element.
Exactly. Then there are skill tests. The game book, or maybe a card, will tell you, make a yellow skill test of difficulty 4 or something. You need to roll a yellow die and meet or beat that number.
Like the example you mentioned earlier, the ticking toy bomb.
Perfect example. That usually needs a yellow skill test to diffuse it before it goes off.
Makes sense.
And sometimes tasks are too big for one stuffy. So you have group tasks, where multiple players can contribute dice over several turns to achieve a bigger goal together.
Reinforces that cooperation again. What about fighting Crepitus's minions?
Attacks. You've got melee attacks, which use red dice. Good up close, but usually can't attack across those colored lines on the map.
Okay.
And ranged attacks use green dice. These can often shoot across colored lines, except white ones, giving you more flexibility in positioning.
Red for bash, green for pupil. Got it. And yellow dice. You said Stitch was good with those?
Yellow dice are also used for searching. You spend a yellow die in certain spots to draw item cards, find useful gear.
Ah, the loot. What kind of items do stuffies find?
This is another charming part. It's mostly ordinary household stuff repurposed. A letter opener might be a dagger. A meat mallet could be a heavy weapon, a plastic helmet, or a pleather vest for armor. It's very creative.
That's brilliant. It keeps that feeling of being small things in a big world.
Totally. And these items go into specific equipment slots: head, body, paws, accessory. So you have to make choices about what gear is most important for each stuffy.
Strategy and equipping.
Yep. You might even find something like a red wagon that lets you move faster as a group, maybe with some risk involved. Or party items, like a tricycle maybe, that helps everyone at once.
Party items, I like that.
Yeah.
So you're fighting these minions. How do they show up?
They appear through encounters, sometimes randomly drawn, sometimes specific named encounters tied to the story. And then you have boss minions,
The big bads.
right? They're tougher, often needing you to remove multiple stuffing tokens from them before they're actually defeated. Makes for climactic battles.
Okay, so there's risk, there's reward. What happens when things go wrong? What about failure? You mentioned stuffing as health.
Right. If a stuffy runs out of stuffing, it becomes collapsed, basically knocked out. Your figure gets tipped on its side.
Oh, dear. What does that mean in game terms?
You can't take actions. You lose any status cards you had, any buttons or hearts you collected. It's bad.
So you're out.
Not permanently. That's key. Other stuffies can use an encourage action to help you get back up. Or, on your turn, if you manage to find stuffing with a white die, you can revive yourself. So, teamwork keeps everyone in the fight.
That's good. Keeps it from being too punishing. What are these status cards you mentioned?
So there are conditions that can affect your stuffy, like being scared or torn. They usually give you some kind of penalty or challenge, and you often need to pass a skill test to get rid of them.
Adds another layer of problems to solve.
And there's another source of tension. The sleep cards. The little girl you're protecting isn't sleeping soundly through all this. Sometimes you draw restless cards from a sleep deck, which can trigger immediate effects, shake things up. But if you draw the waking card, that signals the story is heading towards a different kind of conclusion, maybe more rushed.
So the clock is ticking in a way. And the rewards. You mentioned buttons and hearts.
Yeah. You earn buttons, usually for defeating minions. You can spend these on specific abilities or maybe items. And hearts are more for achieving story goals, big moments. Hearts are used to unlock more powerful, permanent upgrades for your stuffy.
So you're constantly getting stronger, progressing through the story.
Exactly. It all feeds back into this loop of facing challenges, working together, and growing more capable as you protect the child.
Wow. Okay, so taking it all in, this deep dive into Stuffed Fables really highlights how it blends this really heartfelt story about bravery, friendship,
Yeah, companion.
with these solid, engaging dice mechanics. It seems like more than just a kid's game.
Oh, definitely. It's a journey about facing your fears, about dealing with change, and finding that heroism in, well, in stuffed animals, in the everyday protectors. It manages to be charming without being, simplistic.
It really captures that childhood magic, doesn't it? Where toys were more than just things. They felt like guardians.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think what Stuffed Fables does so well is show how those childhood stories, that idea of the secret life of toys, it's not just fantasy. It's kind of a metaphor for the comfort and the resilience we build, the stories we tell ourselves that help us face things.
That's a great point. The game lets you revisit that, reminds you how important those feelings were and maybe still are.
Exactly. It taps into something quite foundational.
It really does. Thinking about it makes you consider how we outgrow things, like a crib or maybe a favorite toy gets put in a box. But maybe those protectors, the stories we made around them, the lessons about courage or just being there for someone, maybe they keep guarding us just in different ways.
That's a lovely thought.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What cherished thing from your own childhood might have been secretly fighting off your own nightmare king long after you thought you'd moved on?